Howdy, y'all. Looks like I'm going to have some police. Don't need a police escort, though. Huva Ilta, Boris. I've always thought that this song was very ironic. Why would it be ironic that a band called The Police would sing a song about a teacher having a relationship with one of his students? Maybe it's just me. All right. Let's see if we can't get some good lighting for the Ugly Pipe project. Not sure how well y'all can actually see this. Yes, there are marks on the pipe that I'm not going to try and sand down and sand through. Y'all remember, I'm just trying to remake this from hideous to tolerable. I'm again using my little box, but today I'm in my truck because it's 35 degrees out there. And I can split these windows just a little bit, roll them down, however you want to call it. And I can sit here in this truck and be nice and comfortable because that 20-mile-an-hour wind is not hitting me. Or I could sit out there and freeze my butt off and be shivering and trying to do this for real. Not doing it. Not doing it. But I am going to get this thing dyed. Oh yeah, it's completely awesome weather for Finland. It's colder than a witch's left ankle out there in Houston. There's also the problem with 75 or better % humidity. It'd be okay if the humidity would just drop off. But the humidity's not dropping off. In fact, it's staying up. Very up. All right, so you see the white seal? It's on top. I decided instead of trying to take the whole thing off, because I'm going to follow some advice that was given to me by Mike from Briar Blues, I'm going to cut a hole in it, a little X-shaped hole. You can see a little bit of the dye now on the knife. I'm going to use that little X-shaped hole and pull dye onto a pipe cleaner. Now this is what Mike told me to do. First time I went blind, I didn't listen. Everybody said that the dauber was useless. I should have listened. I'll admit it. I should have listened. But then I listened, and everybody said, use a pipe cleaner and just kind of paint it on. And so far, it's going on beautifully. I got a little bit on my fingers. You know what? I expected that. I'm not surprised or shocked. I'm not upset by it. Sorry, I'm trying to keep it up where y'all can see it too. Completely different arrangement. By the way, howdy Todd, I saw you come in. I'm trying to get this done nice and even. I'm dipping some more. Again, a little more on my fingers. I'll come up with a better way at some point of how to get this stuff out of the little container without going crazy. Now, everybody says this stuff dries flat, and I shouldn't worry about that. I just wanted to make sure I got every ounce that I pulled out somehow into this wood. Okay, so I literally dipped the, not sure if y'all can see that very well. There's a little hole. All I did was dip the pipe cleaner through that little hole. And yes, I went with black and yellow, kind of a classic color combination. That is yellow leatherite, not a question. And now I'm just gonna waste a little time while what's left on my pseudo brush basically dries out. Then I'm going to stick it back in the pipe, or I'm going to stick it back in the cigar box. And I'm going to tell you right now, whether it's going to show up exactly as I wanted it or not, I am seeing, because of how it's looking, to me anyways, I am seeing a vast improvement where the yellow is highlighting the wood a lot more. See if I can't bring this out to y'all. And you can see now that the yellow is bringing forward the grain of the wood that was more or less just kind of not pronounced. And I mean, I'm not trying to hide anything from anybody. Letting this absorb in as long as I can. I had originally wanted to do possibly green. But upon asking a lot of people, and I do mean a lot of people, I was told green, just don't do it. It will fade, and it will fade fast, and it will fade bad. You could see a little bit of the dye that did get onto my thumb. Oh, and if you look right here, I did one small little thing off camera. Now, if y'all want to get on to me for it, with the black dye, I got some on the bit. And what I was doing off camera, while I was waiting for one song to end so I could start with the next song, I rubbed it a little bit with just a cloth. This is just a BS rag to clean like your steering wheel or whatever. It's got a very mild cleaning solution that is food grade safe. And I put a little elbow grease on it, and I cleaned it with that. It took the, here I will show you the stem. It was very, very covered in the black stain. Not shiny, it was very dull. And all I did was just rub the black stain off of there, and it brought it back to and really, I don't know how I would have actually shown that to you in any kind of good manner, in any way, shape, or form, in good faith. And I'm going to tell you, this thing's actually starting to dry very well. Okay, so let's see what we can see here. And no, I'm trying to get y'all views of the grain, not my face in this situation. But I got to sit over here to the side so I can actually see what I'm showing y'all. And then the camera wants to focus in on my ugly mug. So I'm seeing a nice, interesting grain structure. I'm seeing lots of swirls and stuff. Now, a lot of what you can't see, unless I can get you real close somehow, is some of this grain structure. Let's see if I can't get it to focus in. Okay. You can see it looks like fine lines and cracks. And no, that's actually the grain of the wood showing through. I gotta tell you, some of it, yeah, some of it is still absolutely horrible. But please remember, this is a first ever attempt at refinishing a pipe at all. I am learning how as I go. I am watching a lot of YouTube videos. That's how I'm getting a lot of my information. I have been talking to Mike at Briar Blues. I've been asking questions for months. If you were to try and put up every video that I took information from, the list would probably run about a month worth of typing for a 5-minute video of me saying thanks. Now, I am going to say thanks to all of these guys who came before me and who are doing it right now with me, and who are watching, because you know what? If y'all weren't watching, I wouldn't be making this video at all. There'd be no point in it. I am certain that every person on the planet could watch all the videos that I watched, formulate the same plan that I did, come up with the same exact situation as I did, and decide, you know what? I'm going to screw some stuff up and I'm going to get some stuff right just like I did. Now, I'm not trying to tell you that everything I did was wrong. But I will tell you right now to your faces, not everything I have done on the Ugly Pipe project has been correct. I should not have used that power sander at the very beginning. But I didn't know how easy that stuff was going to come off. And exactly, Shade Tree, you got to start somewhere. If you're going to start anywhere, then I'm going to make the same statement as has been made a million times. The hardest thing to do is to start. It's easier to keep going once you're started. But to actually start, you have to decide to do it. And then you have to commit to it. And then you just have to do it. But trying to get started from blank nothing, literally, no skills, no true mapped out plan. I figured it out in my head as I went along, and I have actually been watching other people's videos as I've been doing this project. Here I am on day 8. Please remember, I have not actually put in a full day's worth of work on this. A lot of pipe making, from what I have seen and from what I understand, and from the amount of time that I have let things sit, is sitting there watching paint dry. You have to be happy with being able to watch paint dry. You want my opinion? Start on several pipes all at once. That way you can stain one and you can work on another one. And while you're working on this one, that stained one can be over there drying. You don't have to sit there and watch it dry. You don't have to do anything to watch it dry. It's going to dry on its own at some point. But you sand, you stain one, you sand the heck out of one, you go over here and you carve a little bit on one. You get this one ready for staining, you get this one ready for sanding. You can work 5 or 6 of them at the same time, and that's my opinion. And maybe I'm wrong. Now, if you do decide to do something like that, I am going to make one simple suggestion. Because not everybody is going to remember everything that they have been doing. If you're going to work several at the same time and you are new to this, get yourself a little piece of string and some little pieces of paper and put it on there. This one I'm doing red and black. This one I'm doing brown and green. This one I'm doing... Keep an idea of what you're doing the whole time from the second you start. So if you're starting with a hobby block, say, okay, well, I want to do a volcano. I want to do a billiard. I want to do a apple. Pick what you're wanting to do. Put it on there. Make your little tags. Put it on there. And stick to your plan once you've actually formulated one. This is not like boxing. I'm not going to give you the Mike Tyson statement. Actually, I am going to give you the Mike Tyson statement. Everybody's got a plan until you get hit in the mouth. He's right. If you find a bad spot in your hobby block or in your briar that you drilled yourself, and you have to change the plan, you got to change the plan. Basically, that little sand pit or hidden flaw, that's you getting hit in the mouth. It's going to happen. Ask the professionals if they've ever had a piece of briar that looked beautiful and then they started carving it down and they got a little closer and suddenly, boom. Wasn't good for anything other than throwing it in a scrap heap or catching it on fire and watching it burn. I am willing to bet every major pipe maker, every minor pipe maker, and every hobby pipe maker sooner or later will find a pipe that they're working on is garbage. I guarantee that they're going to find one in their lifetime if they're going to do this. It's going to happen. You cannot control what those roots did underground when they were growing. Did they pick up a rock, squeeze it in tight, bring it into the wood, and now it's just a part of it? And when you get down there and carve it out and it pops out, and there's this large hole, and it's right there where you couldn't see it, you didn't even know it was there. What are you going to do? You're going to x-ray a chunk of wood just to find out, oh, it's got this small little sand spot, or oh, it's got this piece of rock that's somehow in there. Nobody's going to do that. Nobody's going to spend the time to do that. Anybody who does spend the time to do that probably owns their own x-ray machine. I don't. But that's okay. Anybody who does that, just remember, they've actually bought that chunk of wood before they actually x-rayed it. So just like I said before, they just took a hit in the mouth. It's okay to fail. There's failures all over that pipe. But the most glaring failure is why I'm working on that pipe. The original coating. When I first bought it, it was dark brown. You can go back and look. From the date of this particular project, I'm only 8 days into it, like I said before. I'm not trying to make some sort of fancy, oh my God, look at everything that I've done. Look at all this perfect. Nope. I don't have the right tools. I don't have the right equipment. I don't have the right location. I don't have a good room to do this in. You don't have to be perfect. If you are perfect, I want to see you come right out over here. I've got a body of water I will let you walk across. Go ahead. I promise. I'll help you up the bank from that creek once you get done. It's pretty deep though, so if you think you can walk on water but you really can't, you're gonna be wet. And I would suggest doing that in August, because that way you will dry off quickly if the mosquitoes don't take you away. There are the possibility of mosquitoes. That's all right. Slap a few. That's what I do. So, in recap, only thing I've done today, I used a little bit of a cloth to clean a little bit of the black dye off of the stem or bit. I don't want the dye still left on there, so I rubbed that off. Did that first. Then I painted the pipe with a pipe cleaner. Just painted it with the dye on there. That's all I did today. It took me less than 15 minutes total. I think grand total of work that I've put into the pipe so far has been about 4 hours worth of work. That's not bad. That's not even a day's worth of work, and it's starting to look pretty good. Coming up, Tuesday, little after noon, I'm going to be sanding. Wednesday, I'm going to finish sand. Those are all with 800 grit, in case y'all are following along. And then Friday, I'm going to have to start deciding on whether I want to start waxing these things, or are they pretty enough and just leave it alone as is. Kind of got a lot of things to decide in the next couple of days. But as per always, it's been my pleasure hanging out with y'all. Y'all be safe out there. Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other as you can. And as always, long lives, big bowls, long ashes. Y'all take care, and I will see you soon.